your melanin, girlfriend. Pop your melanin. Pop your melanin, girlfriend. Pop your melanin. Girl, you black. And you beautiful. Girl, you black. And you beautiful.
Hey everyone. Welcome back to Couch Conversations with Sasha Love. I'm your host, Sasha Love, and today the topic is going to be related to dating. I know I haven't really done a series and we kind of haven't really been talking about dating specifically, but I had a fairly recent experience and I learned some valuable points from it, and I wanted to share it with you guys in case it would be helpful for anyone else who either is having a similar story or wants to avoid being in certain situations. So in dating, we'll meet different types of people. Some people are really genuine and nice and others are not. And of course, we have people that fall in different places along the spectrum. However, regardless of who you meet, it's very important for you to feel safe. It's very important for you to know that you have the choice whether or not to allow yourself to be vulnerable with someone or to be involved in a personable relationship with someone. So for today's conversation, we'll focus more on situations where you may not know this person very well, but you're not getting a good vibe, or you're not having a really good, your gut feeling is not really letting you know that this is something that's good. When you encounter individuals who create a space that feels unsafe, that you don't feel comfortable for some reason, even if you don't have an explanation for it, or you just have a bad feeling, it's wiser to listen to that voice than to push past it. I'm not saying that in every case it's true, but more often than not, if you're having those feelings, if you're having those thoughts, it's letting you know that there's something that needs your attention before you let your guard down in this situation. So let's say you find yourself in this uncomfortable, unsafe situation with someone you hardly know. What are 3 things that you can do? Number 1, understand the power of your no. No one that you meet, any stranger that you meet, is not entitled to your time. They're not entitled to your attention. They're not entitled to your vulnerability. If you do not feel comfortable doing or saying something or opening up to someone, then don't. You're not comfortable doing so. That's different than how we may feel when we're trying to be vulnerable with someone that we like. That has certain discomforts with it, but it's much different from feeling unsafe and feeling as if that it's actually not wise to do this. So if there's something that they're asking for, or they're requesting from you, or they're demanding of you, and you simply do not feel like it's the right thing to do to offer that, whether it's vulnerability, whether it's transparency about certain things, whether it's just following through with meeting them, whatever the case may be, say no and stick with it. Say no whether or not you want to offer an explanation. No is a complete sentence. So if you say no and you're like, listen, it's a no for me right now, you can leave it at that. You don't owe an explanation. And again, you don't owe them anything else because this is a complete stranger that you're meeting. Someone who is a safe person, someone who is healthy, someone who is respectful, will respect your no. Maybe they'll be open to a conversation about it if you're comfortable, but will not pressure you to change your mind. So that's number 1. Stick to your no, with or without an explanation, and sharing an explanation is entirely up to you. The second thing is to maintain your boundaries. Each of us have our own boundaries. Some people, they believe that I don't want to spend any time at anyone's home until we've been dating for at least 6 months. Some people don't want to date until they've been talking for 3 months. Other people choose to wait till marriage to live together. So there are different boundaries people have, and it's important to know what your boundaries are. Once you've defined your boundaries, stick to them, especially when it comes to strangers and people that you don't know, because there's a reason why you created those boundaries. Okay? So, number one, we talked about sticking to your no. Number two, we said maintain your boundaries once you've defined them, especially with strangers. And number three, know when it's time for you to walk away. A lot of us want to give people the benefit of the doubt. A lot of us want to trust that people mean well, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. What is wrong, or what can be potentially dangerous, is when we let our benefit of the doubt overshadow the evidence that we are being faced with. So if someone is constantly disrespecting you, even subtly, if someone is violating your boundaries, especially a complete stranger who hardly knows you early on, no matter how small or how big they think the boundaries are, or you think the boundaries are, or if you simply don't have a sense of peace or a sense of ease or a gut feeling that says that this is okay, that this is safe, then know that all of those reasons are good reasons to walk away. You don't need to give a whole explanation. You're not defending this case in court. You're not defending this case to the other person's family and friends. This is a complete stranger that you don't know, and that at some point you thought could have some potential for dating, but you just feel like something isn't right. As mentioned earlier, it's better to take a step back to evaluate why you have this feeling that something isn't right. 9 times out of 10, it's probably true. Something isn't right, or something is too good to be true. But there are those rare occasions that sometimes it's just an invitation for us to explore, like, what is calling our attention before we figure out how to move forward. So in summary, whenever you find yourself in a dating situation or getting to know somebody that you'd like to date and things don't just seem right, number one, say no to things that just don't feel right for you to do at that present time. Even if they're asking you, even if they keep asking you over and over, say no and stick to it if you're not comfortable and if it doesn't feel right. Number two, know what your boundaries are and stick with them. And number three, know when to walk away, especially when you have a gut feeling that something isn't right and you've been faced with evidence of this individual violating your trust, violating your boundaries, and disregarding things that are important to you. Dating is probably one of the hardest things to do in this day and age. And I resonate with you. I understand the frustration. I can relate to your frustration, because each of our journeys are different. I can relate to your frustration. I know it can be hard. But trust me when I say this, that it's important to wait for the right time, for the right person. Pray through the process. Do not rush. And know that when it's right, it'll be right without a question. So let me know what your thoughts are below in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your questions, concerns, or even some of your experiences in dating that taught you some valuable lessons. And until we meet again, take care, be safe, and we'll talk soon.